Good evening and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission meeting, June 2nd, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk.
Assistant City Attorney Pettish.
Here.
City Manager Burton.
Here.
Commissioner Dean.
Here.
Commissioner Logan.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our minutes from May 5th, 2025, May 14th, 2025 were received. Commissioners, do you have any corrections, additions? If not, the minutes will stand as submitted. Presentations. Confirmation of firefighter Patrick Hammond. Fire Chief John Campbell.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. For your consideration tonight, we have confirmation of firefighter Patrick Hammond. Firefighter Hammond is a Flathead High School graduate. He attended MSU Northern, where he played football and graduated with a degree in trades management, and then a resident firefighter for Missoula Rural Fire Department before coming to Helena. Patrick has a guest with him tonight. His grandfather, Kevin Shays, retired FDNY. And after your consideration, Mr. Mayor, and the confirmation, if you'd allow him to do the badging, please.
Yes, no problem there.
Thank you. Patrick, if you'd like to say a few words.
I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's a tremendous honor to be here. It took a lot of work, but not so much for me, but for the people in this room, my friends and family, and the amazing people at the Helena Fire Department have got me to this point, and I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to many great years here, and I just want to thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Raise your right hand. Say aye.
I, Patrick Hammond,
Recognize my obligation as a firefighter for the city of Helena to protect and preserve life and property of the public I serve, and I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Montana, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of firefighter for the City of Helena Fire Department according to the best of my abilities and understanding. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, if you would please, pursuant to MCA Section 7, a motion and a confirmation vote, if that's okay.
You bet. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move the confirmation of firefighter Patrick Hammond.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Firefighter Hammond, come on down. Congratulations on behalf of the city. We know you'll do a fine job. You're going to be joining some fine firefighters, and I know you're fitting because your grandpa said so. Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome and congratulations, and I will only say that I regret that your grandfather's accent did not come with you to join the ranks of Helena Fire as a native New Yorker. It's an accent that we need more of. Thanks.
Commissioners.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate you and thank you for choosing Helena and the Helena Fire Department. I think that we've really started continued a trend of hiring some really excellent people, and we're glad you chose Helena.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome. As someone who is also from the Flathead area, it's good to see somebody from Kalispell, and welcome to Helena.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to congratulate you, Firefighter Hammond. Take it easy at the celebration tonight. Write down some of the stuff that you experience. Over 20 years, you tend to forget it, but you see some pretty amazing things, and it goes by very fast. So enjoy it.
Okay, another round of applause for Firefighter Hammond. City of Helena Proclamation. Whereas June 14, 1775, the Second Continental Congress established the United States Army, marking the birth of America's military and the beginning of its fight for freedom and independence. Whereas for nearly 250 years, the Army has stood as guardian of liberty, providing security to our nation, maintaining readiness and lethality, and promoting peace worldwide. And whereas the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of Army soldiers, veterans, and their families have ensured the safety and prosperity of our nation and the freedoms we cherish. And whereas the United States Army remains steadfast in its mission to serve and defend, building strong ties with local communities and fostering partnership that strengthen the fabric of our great nation. And whereas the city of Helena recognizes the Army's pivotal role in shaping our nation's history, security, and freedom. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Wilmot Collins, Mayor of the city of Helena, Montana, do hereby proclaim June 14th, 2025 as United States Army Day throughout this city, and I urge all residents to join in honoring the men and women who have served and continue to serve in the United States Army. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Helena, Montana, to be affixed this second day of June 2025. Wilma Collins, Mayor, Danae Claiborne, Clerk of the Commission. Is there a representative here to receive this? Please come.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you. Citizens of Helena, I'm Sergeant Major Rob Terrio, proud member of the Montana Army National Guard. It's a pleasure to be here on the day of this proclamation. It's interesting to think that the Army actually came about 1 year before the Declaration of Independence was signed. And so it's pretty important that you recognize us, and it means a lot to the soldiers I work with and the airmen I work with also. No one wants peace more than an American soldier. But remember, we're here if that peace breaks down to defend you. We work for you, we cherish you, we do it all for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Board and committees appointments. I'm recommending the following board appointments: ADA Compliance Committee, appointment of Michael Bassett to an interim term on the ADA Compliance Committee as medical field representative. Interim term expires September 1st, 2027. Helena Regional Airport Board of Adjustment, appointment of Brian Costigan to a first term on the Helena Regional Airport Board of Adjustment. Term expires October 1st, 2027. Helena Public Arts, appointment of Christina Barbiano, I'm sorry if I messed it up, to an interim term on the Helena Public Arts Committee. Interim term expires December 31st, 2025. Urban Renewal District TIF Advisory Board, appointment of Bob Goodwin to a first term on the Urban Renewal District TIF Advisory Board as owner of property within the Railroad District. Term expires December 31st, 2026. Commissioners? Anything? Are there any public comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. I move to approve the following board appointments. The appointment of Michael Bassett to an interim term on the ADA Compliance Committee as a medical field representative. Interim term expires September 1st, 2027. The appointment of Brian Costigan to the first term at the Helena Regional Airport Board of Adjustment. Term expires October 1st, 2027. The appointment of Christina Barbacano to an interim term on the Helena Public Art Committee. Interim term expires December 31st, 2025. The appointment of Bob Goodwin to a first term on the Urban Renewal District TIF Advisory Board as an owner of property within the Railroad District. Term expires December 31st, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Consent agenda. Claims. A, claims, excuse me, one motion. Montana DNRC Grant Agreement FHE-25-001 acceptance. Commissioners? Any public comments on that? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve the consent agenda items A and B.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Bid award, K. McKinnon Park Tennis Court Improvement Project. Parks and Recreation Director and/or Craig Mart, Park Superintendent, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission.
Good evening.
Yeah, tonight we're talking about a bid award for the K. McKenna tennis courts, which are by the Civic Center there. The tennis courts were originally built in 1953, so they're just due for reconstruction. The asphalt base is decomposing and deteriorating. We used to offer tennis lessons there, but it got to the point where there was too big of cracks, and we were forced to close down a couple of those courts, so people weren't able to use them. So we put out the project for bid. We contracted with Triple Tree Engineering to get a good set of plans and specifications. And then we put that plan out to bid. We ended up getting 3 bids. Only two were complete. The lowest complete bid was from Montana Materials and Construction with a bid of $620,000. The staff recommendation is to move to approve awarding the Kay McKenna Tennis Court Improvement Project to the lowest complete bidder, which was Montana Materials and Construction, in the amount of $620,000. And there was an asphalt component. We put an asphalt component and the concrete, post-tension concrete out to bid. And the post-tension concrete is really the way to go because of its greater durability. It has less cracking over time, lower maintenance costs over time, and just a longer lifespan in general. So asphalt, as soon as you put down an asphalt court, it can potentially crack. And the post-tension concrete is all held together with tension and cables in the concrete. So it's a much better route to go. So that's what we're proposing.
Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor, maybe just a brief comment. I think this is a pretty large bid for a lot of the parks projects that we do look at, but I think it's worth noting, we've had a lot of discussion over the last number of years and public comment about the need for improvement for those tennis courts for flooding and use that was clearly making things dangerous. One of the things that I did appreciate in the description and materials was that by going with the concrete, the additional step, it looked like it's going to extend the life expectancy of that court by like 20 years. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Okay, great. Yeah. So it is a large bid considering all other parks bids that we look at, but I think a really important investment in facilities that are used all the time and set us up for the next 50 years. So I appreciate all the work because I know it's been quite a few years.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Are there any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
move to approve awarding the Kay McKenna Park Tennis Court Improvement Project, PR 25004, to the lowest complete bidder, Montana Materials and Construction, in the amount of $620,000.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Are there, yes, we did that. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Commissioners, proposals? Okay, moving along. Report of the city, Assistant City Attorney, Matt Pettish, you have the floor.
Mayor and Commissioners, I have nothing to report.
Report of the City Manager.
Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to invite Superintendent Craig Marr from the Parks Department up to give the commission an update on the fire tower restoration project.
You bet. Superintendent Marr, you have the floor.
Mayor Collins, Commissioners, I'm happy to report that the fire tower project is complete. It took some time, but the steps that we had to take were necessary so that we came out with a good product that will last into the future. I just want to mention the Dale family donated the new lights that are on the fire tower, and that was in recognition of Matthew Dale. And we're going to be having a little celebration ceremony on Tuesday, June 10th at 9 a.m. up at the fire tower.
Thank you.
That's it. Any questions?
No, thanks. Manager Burton?
Mayor, that concludes my report.
Regular items. Consider acceptance of a Federal Railroad Administration Railroad Crossing Elimination Grant. Director Kanopke, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. As you're aware, on January 10th, the city received notice of the award for the Railroad Crossing Elimination Grant in the amount of $3.2 million. Along with that, our two other partners, Montana Department of Transportation and the BNSF, we all contribute equal amounts to the $800,000 match. This project is to deliver preliminary engineering plans, 30% roughly, and the National Environmental Policy Act clearance to move forward after this step. And then the next step will be to complete the plans and also look for construction dollars to not only make the grade separated by what is proposed, a tunnel, and then also improving the malfunction junction there with a 2-lane roundabout to improve. The one can't be done really without the other. The biggest thing we're going to see is improved safety for all, not only for pedestrian and non-motorized folks, but also vehicles and the road users. So this is the last step before we accept the grant through the grant software, that the commission accept this railroad grant in the amount of $3.2 million. I do have a brief statement from BNSF that they would like read into the record, and also Jim Wigater from the Montana Department of Transportation is here to say a few words. From BNSF, BNSF Railway supports the City of Helena's successful railroad crossing elimination grant for the Montana Avenue grade separation project. This crossing is on a crucial freight route connecting the Gulf Coast and the Midwest to the Pacific Northwest, moving grain, energy, and consumer products. This vital route is essential for communities serving major employment centers existing and developing in residential areas, schools, and regional medical centers. This award will fund the advancement of conceptual designs developed through previous planning efforts and will position the project for construction of engineering improvements at the intersection of Montana Avenue and the BNSF. BNSF contributed over $250,000 in private matching funds toward the total project. BNSF values our working relationship with the City of Helena and is prepared to work with all the involved public agencies on further development of this project, subject to satisfactory review of final engineering and entering into definitive agreements as may be required by BNSF and other project stakeholders. We look forward to working with the relevant parties for successful implementation of this project.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor, just really briefly, this is a very big deal for the city to get this grant. I'm excited that we are finally getting to the point to officially accepting it. Very grateful to our partners, MDT, BNSF, and all of the many hours of our own City of Helena staff. This is going to be one of those projects that truly changes not just Helena in the next 10 years, but in the next 30 to 70 years. And it should not be lost on any of us that none of this would have happened if we had not had all of the pieces fall right into place right at the right time, because it's something we've been going after for quite a while. So grateful to everyone that made this happen.
Any others? Are there any public comments?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I am Jim Wingeter. I am the Great Falls District Administrator for the Montana Department of Transportation, and I ask you tonight to consider support for this grant. This is a wonderful collaborative effort that we put together with the railroad, with the City of Great Falls, and with the Montana Department of Transportation. It's very important for us to provide mobility and provide for less congestion, not only in our rural routes, but also in our urban routes. And this is one project that we are especially interested in. It will be a challenge, but we're engineers. That's what we do. That's what we love to do. And I ask your support tonight for this grant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other public comments? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioners.
I'll move to accept a Federal Railroad Administration Railroad Crossing Elimination Grant in the amount of $3.2 million.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, moving along. Communications from Helena Citizens Council, Representative John Andrew, you have the floor.
Mayor, Commissioners, the only thing I have to bring up tonight is, as you probably already noticed, we met last Wednesday to discuss and vote on our fiscal year 2026 review and recommendation to the Commission. So that's out there. I'm aware of that at an admin meeting on June 11th, Ben Kuiper, our chair, will be available for any questions you might have at that time.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
You bet. Commissioners, any comments or questions? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the HCC for the budget recommendations. It is, I know, a big undertaking every year, and we're always grateful to see your input, so thank you for all the work on that.
Any other comments? Okay, moving along. Consider, oh no, geez, where am I? Consider a resolution distributing downtown urban renewal district tax increments financing funds to the City of Helena Parks, Recreation, and Open Lands Department for construction of K. McKinnon Park Tennis Court. Community Development Director Brink, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission.
Good evening.
So again, as Mayor indicated, this is a resolution, consideration of a resolution distributing TIF funds to the Parks, Recreation, Open Lands Department for the K. McKenna Park, which you just approved the bid award for. On May 12th of this year, the City Open Lands, Parks, and Recreation Department submitted an application for consideration of downtown TIF funding in the amount of $310,000. This funding request would support the reconstruction of the K. McKenna Park tennis courts that were just approved in the bid award. Due to the dissolution of the previously existing downtown TIF increment financing board and the fact that the new citywide consolidated board has not yet been fully constituted, this application unfortunately has not been reviewed by an advisory board for formal recommendation. However, since board recommendation is not required statutorily for TIF applications, the Community Development Department staff fully recommends this application for full funding approval due to its conformance with the downtown URD plan. The total cost for the public park reconstruction, again, is $620,000. Making this request $310,000, exactly 50% of the total cost, which is in line with TIF-eligible construction activities. A little background, the Downtown Urban Rural District Plan's intent is to eliminate blight and to encourage redevelopment in the district using TIF funding as specified by state law. Under MCA 715-4288, cost incurred in connection with the redevelopment activities as allowed by MCA 715-4233, are eligible for TIF funding when they clearly serve a public purpose in alignment with the Constitution of the state of Montana. This park project aligns with the downtown URD plan, which has established goal to invest in the public infrastructure needed to attract development. This goal sets forth a couple of objectives. One, invest in capital improvements needed to improve parks, green space, and recreational facilities in the URD. And two, retain and address needs of existing city-owned cultural and historic facilities to improve their use and function. As such, the proposed project wholly aligns with the goals and objectives of the downtown URD plan. Therefore, staff concludes we recommend that the Commission move to approve a resolution distributing downtown TIF funds in the amount of $310,000 to the City of Helena's Park, Recreation, Open Lands Department for the reconstruction project of the K. McKenna Park tennis courts.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor, a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
This might be for Director Danielson on this fund, if I may.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission.
If you would remind me of the amount that is in this particular fund, please?
Thank you, Mayor and Commission, for the question. So I believe that this is budgeted in our general capital fund, and this particular appropriation was approved in the fiscal '25 budget for a little over $300,000. So this supplemental funding from the TIP district will allow them to upgrade their original project from the asphalt project to the concrete project and have a lifespan of many more years than what they could do with just the asphalt project.
But as far as if a follow-up, please, thanks. As far as the expired TIF district and the fund, how much remains in that particular fund?
Thank you. Actually, this TIF distribution is from the downtown URD, not from the URD that is part of the loan repayment fund.
Oh, okay.
Where, yeah, this is a completely separate TIF district. So,
Thank
and actually, that loan repayment fund, where the payments on the artisan loan are coming back into the fund, have not yet been incorporated into the whole URD distribution policy and that. And so I believe that we're still working on how to incorporate that to distribute any future funds from that.
Okay, sorry for the confusion.
No,
Thanks.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, do we know what is the balance of the TIF that this is coming from?
From the downtown, I believe it's over $2 million right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any public comments on this? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. I move to approve a resolution distributing downtown urban renewal district tax increment financing funds to the City of Helena's Parks, Recreation, and Open Lands Department for reconstruction of the K. McKenna Park tennis courts.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, consider a resolution distributing downtown urban renewal district tax increment financing fund to the Holter Museum of Arts for Public Arts Restoration. Community Development Director, Director Brink, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. It's exciting that we're actually using downtown TIF funds, which we've been absent of any projects. Again, this is a consideration of a resolution distributing downtown TIF funds to the Holter Museum of Art for Public Art Restoration. Again, on May 12th, excuse me, the Holter Museum of Art submitted an application for consideration of downtown TIF funding in the amount of $6,440. This funding request will allow for the restoration of artist Richard Swanson's Redshift Rocker outdoor sculpture, which is installed at the corner of Cruz Avenue and Lawrence Street. Per the application, the prominent sculpture is an iconic fixture in the community's visual landscape. But after 20 years of exposure to the elements, it has significantly faded the piece. The applicant further states that restoration efforts will enhance the visual appeal of a key intersection, address longstanding safety concerns through improved lighting and increased sculptural elevation, and preserve an important piece of Helena's cultural heritage. Again, as I mentioned before with the previous ask, due to the dissolution of the previously existing downtown TIF financing board, and the fact that the new citywide consolidated board has not yet been fully constituted, the Holter Museum's TIF application has unfortunately not been reviewed by an advisory board for formal recommendation. However, due to the fact that board consideration of TIF applications is not statutorily required, community development staff instead fully recommends the application for full funding approval due to its conformance with the downtown URD. Total cost for the public art restoration work is $12,880, making this request of $6,440 exactly 50% of the total cost of this TIF-eligible activity. Again, like I stated earlier, the Downtown Urban Renewal District Plan's intent is to eliminate blight and to encourage redevelopment in the district using tax increment financing as specified by state law. Under MCA 7154288, costs incurred in connection with the redevelopment activities are eligible for TIF funding when they clearly serve a public purpose in alignment with the Constitution of the state of Montana. The Holt Museum of Arts project aligns with the downtown URD plan, which has established goals of 1, to add to downtown vibrancy with a mix of uses, and 2, create a quality and unique experience. The plan further sets forth the following objective that directly aligns with placemaking activities like the Holters, to add to and to improve landscaping with public art, trees, and planting. As such, the proposed project wholly aligns with the goals and objectives of the downtown URD plan. In conclusion, Mayor and Commission, staff, the Community Development Department fully recommend that the City Commission move to approve a resolution distributing downtown urban renewal tax increment financing funds to the Holt Museum of Art for public art restoration.
Thank you, Director Brink. Commissioners? Go ahead.
Question for Director Brink. So this is sort of not directly related to the proposal, but how goes the formation of the new TIF board process-wise?
Thank you, Commissioner, or Mayor and Commissioner Logan. We have 3 fully sat members of the consolidated TIF board now, which at present does not constitute a quorum. We are working actively to recruit members within the 3 TIF districts. We really need that board set real quick because I've got a lot of work projects for that board to undertake. But right now we're at 3, unfortunately.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, just to follow up, Director Brink, what number do we need for a quorum, just to remind us?
If I'm not mistaken, that board is at 9, so we need 5 to constitute a quorum.
Just one more quick follow. Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk.
I apologize. Just as an update, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, we did have a meeting with community stakeholders and the ex officio members for the board last week, Director Brink and Senior Planner Ray and myself. It was a very productive meeting, and those individuals, including MBAC, Chamber, and the BID, were all willing and committed to go out and do some recruitment in the community and speak about the importance of the TIF board. And we had, I think, a very healthy discussion. And from that, I actually received a call from a potential applicant from one of the businesses within the Capital URD, and they assured me that they were very interested in participating and would be submitting an application and would speak to others in that area as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if I might, just a brief comment. I'm very happy to see this project. I did not know the name of the sculpture, but I think anyone with young children will know that the easiest way to navigate your child downtown is to say, meet at the big red man on the corner. So I'm grateful to see that this piece of art will be refurbished and continue to delight for many years.
Any others from the commission? Do we have any public comments on this topic? No, please come up.
Good evening. Thank you for seeing us. I'm Christina Barberciano, the Executive Director of the Holter Museum of Art, and I brought with me our acclaimed artist of Redshift Rocker, or the big red sculpture on the corner, and Richard Swanson, and we're delighted that you are considering our grant for these TIF funds.
Thank you.
Did you want to add anything?
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move to approve a resolution distributing downtown urban renewal district tax increment financing funds to the Holter Museum of Art for public art restoration.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Consider a resolution of intention to approve the work plan and budget for the Business Improvement District and levying an assessment on all properties within the district for fiscal year 2026, and to set a public hearing on June 16th, 2025. Director Danielson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Tonight before you, we have a resolution of intention to approve the work plan and budget for the Business Improvement District. On May 28th, Executive Director Alyssa Bryan from the BID presented the work plan and budget to the Commission and was open to discussion and questions at that time. The budget that they're proposing is to assess $360,000 to the properties within the Business Improvement District in the downtown area. There is no change in the assessment methodology that they're presenting this year based on the prior fiscal year. And at this time, I'm open to questions, and I believe Executive Director of the BID, Ryan, is present if you have any questions of her.
Thank you, Director Danielson. Commissioners? Okay, are there any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. I move to approve a resolution of intention to approve the work plan and budget for the Business Improvement District and levying an assessment on all properties within the district for the fiscal year 2026, and to set a public hearing for June 16th Commission meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Where are we? Consider a resolution of intention to approve the work plan and budget for the Helena Tourism Business Improvement District and to levy an assessment on all properties within the district for fiscal year 2026, and to set a public hearing date on June 16, 2025. Director Danielson, please continue.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Tonight is the resolution of intention to move forward with the approval of the work plan and budget for the Tourism Business Improvement District. Executive Director Andrea Opitz presented their work plan and budget to the Commission at the May 28th administrative meeting for open discussion and comments at that time. This particular budget is proposing to assess $677,270 for their fiscal 26 budget. The assessment is based on room occupancy between July 1, 2024 and June 30th, 2025 at $2 per night. With that, I'm open to any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Director Danielson, so I know TBID Director Opitz mentioned increasing the assessment fee at some point. Are you all expecting that's going to happen in this next year? Or do we have, is that adjustment maybe mid-year? I'm just curious how that works.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner Dean. So I did ask about that because I didn't realize that they were making a goal to increase their rates. So I reached out to Director Opitz, and she said that it actually is quite a lengthy process and public process to raise the rates, and that once she got formulated that plan, she would, keep me in the loop and communicate with me. So it will not go into effect for this tax assessment year, and it may take a little longer to go through than next tax year. So, but it is her plan to garner support for that rate increase.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any others? Do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk? Any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve a resolution of intention to approve the work plan and budget for the Helena Tourism Business Improvement District, and to levy an assessment on all properties within the district for fiscal year 2026, and to set a public hearing on June 16th, 2025.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
You want to talk? Huh? Okay. Fiscal year 2026 City Manager Preliminary Budget Submittal. Dr. Danielson, where are you?
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. I just wanted to take a little break. Tonight, the city manager presents his fiscal 26 preliminary budget to the City Commission per statute. This budget represents several months of work involving budget staff, the city manager, all of the departments, the Helena Citizens Council, the commission, yourself, and the general public, and putting together this presentation. This year's budget is presented in a slightly new format. The budget book, you may have noticed a bit of a difference. We're using a new software that was part of our entire Tyler Technology software conversion. So there are some continued formatting issues that we're working with that we're going to clean up before we actually bring the resolution to adopt the preliminary budget on the 16th. And we have some slight adjustments to narrative and some changes to changes for appropriations that were requested at the May 28th administrative meeting that weren't able to adopt in this version because of the timing to get the preliminary budget posted. The budget as proposed by the city manager is presented as a balanced budget with using cash reserves only for one-time expenditures and appropriations and capital plans. Our total proposed revenues and transfers are $105,170,000, and our total proposed appropriations and transfers are $112,146,000. Of that total appropriations, $42.2 million is for personnel costs, $20.1 million is in capital outlay costs, and $3 million is for debt service payments. The balance is for general operating costs, which is about $47 million. There are no new debt proceeds currently built into the budget for fiscal 26, but the fire bond is in process. And so when that bond closes, we will be bringing a budget adjustment to the commission and build in the proceeds of that bond. I, in fact, have been having frequent phone calls with our bond counsel and our financial advisor, and that's moving along very nicely. We're preparing for our rating call here soon, and then thereafter, I will be bringing on June 16th, the actual resolution to adopt the sale of the bond proceeds. So that is moving along. We just haven't finalized everything yet, and so once we do, it'll get incorporated into the final budget. There are some water and wastewater bonds that were recently closed at the end of May. A water bond for $4.1 million and a wastewater bond for, I think it was $1.3 million. And then there's also some loan forgiveness in there as well. We only took initial draws on those loans in order to close on the bonds, and so those will likely carry over to the fiscal 26 budget when we bring carryovers to the commission for consideration. Rate increases are represented in the budget for the Civic Center. The annual increases for planning fees as proposed and adopted by the Commission for the fiscal 25 budget, our tipping fee increases, and proportional share of potential street assessment increases into the budget. Water and wastewater increases that took effect last January are built into the budget. They will be bringing rate review to the commission this fall for adoption in the probably the December timeframe, and those will get built into the fiscal 27 budget. Let's see, facility rents to both the city and county increased 1.5% for this particular building and 2% rental increase for the Law and Justice Center. The estimated property taxes are using an inflation factor that was calculated based off state statute of 2.1%, and I used a 2% increase in taxable values and a 2% increase in newly taxable values to prepare the preliminary budget estimates. Next year, the calculation for our property taxes will change based on recent legislation. There'll be a maximum of a 4% inflation factor, and then we'll be seeing changes to how we levy taxes on newly taxable property. So those will be some big changes next year, but it won't impact our budget for fiscal '26. The one thing that will likely impact our calculation this year for property taxes is on the voted fire levy bond. Based on some language in the legislative directive, I'll have to look and reset the base for that based on, and I'm working on that, and I'll be able to present that better when I get more information on that. So in the general fund, again, it's balanced using cash reserves in this budget of $1.986 million for one-time purchases, and an additional $240,000 that's not in your packet that the commissioner asked for on the May 28th meeting for sustainability projects. All of the departments this year presented a baseline status quo budget with only using inflationary increases or for operational needs. There are 3.38 new FTEs proposed in this budget, half of a net FTE increase in the city clerk's office, a 0.875 FTE in the police department for reserve officers to be used at the courthouse, and 2 FTEs for street operators based on the needs of their growing operating needs in annex property. The personnel costs do represent a COLA of 2.5% that the commission gave consensus on. And we currently have 3 contracts that are open, bargaining unit contracts that are open. One is the fire contract will be going to arbitration this fall, and that we have 2 open for negotiations. One are the police wages and records wages. So I have built into the budget the 2.5% COLA for all employees, but knowing that, you know, that could change for bargaining unit employees once those contracts get settled. The budget book also includes 2 new finance policies that will be adopted with the budget. The credit card policy that I presented to the commission, and also a new investment policy that I presented to the commission. With that, I just want to thank your involvement and the public's involvement and the HCC's involvement and all the department heads and their admins, all of their efforts to put this budget together, and the city manager and his office and his support. It is quite a lengthy process, and it comes down to just, it comes down to this. So with that, I can take any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Danielson. I think you forgot to thank yourself and your department, so I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
We also want to thank you and your department for that, for the work you put into this. Manager Burton, thank you also. Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor, just really briefly, we did receive a letter today from the Helena Symphony, and in our budget, we normally contribute $5,000 a year to the symphony for Symphony Under the Stars. In the letter, it's requesting increasing that to $10,000, so it'd be an additional $5,000. And it just says, due to rising expenses, including hiring professional crowd management services to meet the requirements of special events permit application, increased labor costs, and heightened costs of equipment rental, Symphony Under the Stars will cost more than $170,000 in 2025, up from the $38,000 when the Symphony Under the Stars first began 20 years ago. So from what I understand, we've been contributing $5,000 since for 20 years. And I don't know if the process would be to pass or adopt an amendment today with this, or do we, if we want to consider this $5,000, do we do that at the 16th?
Mayor and Commission, tonight is just the presentation of the city manager's proposed budget. If the commission would like to increase that contribution, I think just a vote of consensus to increase the contribution, and then we can incorporate it into the preliminary budget resolution that'll come to the commission on the 16th.
Okay, and then from your, when I looked at the numbers, it didn't look to have a substantial increase, obviously, in the impact to the general fund that we provide to some of those community partners. Do you see any concern with the additional 5,000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just, Mayor and Commission, just to recap, I think I have that in front of me. We have quite a few contributions to our community partners. We're contributing, based on the commission's consensus, about 43,000 to community partners right now. This would increase that to 47,000. The general fund, these are, you know, considered every single year. They're not a given every single year. They're appropriated every year, and they do come out of this, the general fund's cash reserves. And so the general fund cash flow that's in your packet tonight has an ending cash balance, a proposed or projected ending cash balance of $9,587,000 for the end of fiscal '26, with $4.7 million of that being our operating reserve and $2.5 million being the contingency reserve. So the balance is then available for future capital needs or appropriations that the commission would like to appropriate at their leisure.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I would just, for the commission, I think this is worth considering and supporting given the economic impact of Symphony Under the Stars every year. And this is not necessarily, you know, we reevaluate these community partner contributions every single budget cycle as things change. And I think that for this year, it would be a worthwhile consideration given how big of an impact Symphony Under the Stars has every July.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any others? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do recall we increased I believe the amount for the Humane Society based on inflationary costs. So I think there's some precedent for this. I want to preface my next comment by saying thank you. This budget is a great deal of effort. I've really appreciated everything. It's a balanced budget. It did seem like the allocations for these community projects, it seemed like there was at least one other recipient who didn't know that we were going to fund them again. So if possible, because we did just receive this letter today, looking forward, if maybe we can have a conversation about how to alert the recipients so that they are able to, if there are huge inflationary pressures, they can let us know in advance. That would be great for next year. Again, no criticism. You did an amazing job, and I'm super grateful for all the work. But I would support the increase this year as well. Thank you.
Any others?
Mayor, if I may, I know that not this year, but there might have been 2 fiscal years ago that one of our community partners didn't receive their contribution. And I believe since then, our grants administrator has been actively reaching out to our recipients to let them know that the grant has been accepted and approved in the preliminary budget. So we have made efforts to communicate with our community partners. In regards to them asking for increases, I think that, yes, I agree that knowing about those requests in advance would help, and we can work on a process, you know, so that they can present that information during our administrative meetings while we're deciding on our contributions for the community partners. So thank you for that, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be somewhat reluctant to support the requested increase just from the standpoint, it seems like, at least from the list that I'm looking at here on my phone, that it's a significantly larger increase than we're awarding to any other community partner. And it also comes on the heels of them being awarded some pretty significant public funds recently. It seems like somewhere around $30-some thousand. So that's kind of my position on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Real quick comment, Director Danielson, thank you very much for all the work that you've put into this, along with City Manager Burton and all the directors and staff and grant administrator as well. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. And also to the clerk of the commission and your staff, thank you very much for printing these off for us, these booklets, and making sure that we're aware of the agenda and the budget at least a week in advance, and we appreciate that a lot. It gives us time to read through a lot of this. And I'll be supporting the request from the Helena Symphony. The impact and the amount of people that they bring to the city of Helena, it does not go unnoticed. And also too, I've had a conversation with some folks at the county level that are also looking at supporting this, and I appreciate them as well. Can't thank the Helena Symphony enough for what they do. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I will also be supporting the $5,000 increase because, I mean, you know, things have changed from 20 years ago. Like Commissioner Dean said, in 20 years ago, the cost for the symphony was $38,000. Today, the cost for the symphony is $170,000. It says a lot. And a lot of businesses benefit from that day's events. So I will be supporting that. So, you got it?
Mayor, I think if I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly that 4 out of the 5 commissions support the increase to 5,000. And if that's the case, then I can build that into the preliminary budget for the June 16th adoption.
You bet. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioners,
just
go
really
ahead.
briefly for the public, I think sometimes our whole budget process can be very overwhelming, and it's a lot of weeks of a lot of meetings, and then culminates in 2 regular meetings that sometimes feel more anticlimactic after all of our budget sessions. But now that we have gone through each of the departments in our administrative meetings these past number of Wednesdays, and after this presentation that we've had tonight where we accept the proposed budget, on the 16th is when we'll get the final presentation, and that is the big meeting where we will fully accept the preliminary budget. And then we'll have a couple more weeks to do some other work. But essentially next week, or the 16th, 2 weeks from now, is the big date where we have our big adoption for what the budget will look like. Do you have anything that you think would be helpful to add?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's Mayor and Commissioner Dean. That is when we bring the resolution to actually adopt the preliminary budget.
Okay. Any other commissioners?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
So I have one question. One of the things that we discussed at Wednesday's administrative meeting was some sustainability proposals, glass crusher, and so on the list. There was about 5 of them. Does the acceptance of this mean that those move on and there's no further discussion on it, or is there opportunity at a subsequent meeting for us to discuss those?
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Right now, in this particular packet, it's not built into the budget numbers because they didn't have enough time to adapt the full budget book with that. I had to get it posted so that, you'd had an opportunity to review it. I have, for the adoption of the preliminary budget, built in that funding. It was $243,500. 96 of that going to the renewable energy loan fund to increase the number of loans that they can have applicants apply for, and then the remainder to the general capital fund, 85,000 or 80,000 earmarked for glass crusher, and then the balance to be determined at a later date. There were projects on there. The only one that I believe is definitive at this time is the glass crusher. And then as more information became available for the commission to decide how to use those appropriations, that the sustainability coordinator and/or the deputy director of public works will bring forward to the commission for a final determination on how you'd like to spend those funds. With that said, you also have the opportunity tonight to indicate any further revisions that you would like that we can incorporate into the fiscal 26 preliminary budget. And you also have an opportunity at the 16th meeting to amend the budget at that time as well.
Any other commissioners? Do we have any public comments on this? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to accept the city manager's proposed FY26 preliminary budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, real briefly before I call roll, I definitely appreciate Commissioner Shurtleff's comments, but I would be remiss if I took credit for the hard work of the city manager's office and the executive assistant for printing thousands of pages and keeping track of all of this for you. I don't want to take credit where credit's not due, not that the commission office isn't happy to help, but that definitely goes out to Stephanie, so I appreciate it.
Okay,
with
Manager Burton, would you take that credit from her and give it to Stephanie, please? Okay, Stephanie, you're on Zoom. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
With that, Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Public hearings. Consider an exclusive use permit for Resource Environmental LLC to install groundwater monitoring wells along Yellowstone Drive. Director Kanapke, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. With your permission, Mayor, I'm going to combine the two, even though that they're two separate motions, because the information is essentially the same other than the recommended motion. Okay. As you stated, Resource Environmental LLC is requesting the groundwater monitoring wells along Yellowstone and B Street. The two red dots on the map you see right there are the areas that they're requesting. They've been working closely with the Montana Department of Environmental Quality to characterize and remediate the groundwater contamination presumably associated with historic releases from the Phillips 66 terminal adjacent to the railroad, just south of the railroad there. As with all exclusive right-of-way use per City Code 713.5, there's an annual fee of 5%. That's calculated by taking basically the value of the adjacent land. There is a minimum. In this case, the minimum takes precedence because the calculated value is $11.21, so the minimum fee would be $50 a year paid for each of these. So for item A, staff recommends approval of the Resource Environmental LLC exclusive right-of-way use permit of 140 square feet along Yellowstone Drive with an annual fee of $50, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners? Do you have any public comments on this? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move to approve the Resource Environmental LLC exclusive right-of-way use permit of 140 square feet along Yellowstone Drive with an annual fee of $50.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
For the second one.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Staff recommends approval of the Resource Environmental LLC exclusive right-of-way use permit of 140 square feet along B Street with an annual fee of $50.
Thank you. Commissioners? Any public comments on this? Madam Clerk? Any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve the Resource Environmental LLC exclusive right-of-way use permit of 140 square feet along B Street for an annual fee of $50.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Is there any member of the public wishes to address the commission?
Thank you. First, I wanted to give some thanks for comments you guys made. It was reported in the Free Press a few weeks ago about mini malfunction junction. I appreciated Commissioner Logan just asking, is there any alternatives to spending $2.5 million?
Sir, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
please?
my name's Joe Donahoe. Live on the west side of town. And as a thrifty taxpayer, I really appreciated that concern. And then I saw reported that Mayor Collins said, you know, as a pedestrian, it's not safe. It's a dangerous spot. And we're a family of 4 with 2 young daughters, and we also only have 1 car. So we walk and bike everywhere in the city, and I can definitely second that it's not safe as it currently is, although it's safer than it was with the traffic lights. And I just wanted to suggest another idea before we jump into very expensive and permanent roundabouts. So in the urban planning type world, they talk about tactical urbanism, or the nonprofit group Strong Towns calls it small bets. So you do things temporary and you see how it goes without spending a lot of money. So things like, instead of pouring concrete and laying brick, you put temporary cones up and spray paint and stuff like that. And so the issue at that spot, when I stand there with a 6-year-old, is that the distance across Neal Avenue, there's 4 lanes of traffic. It's about 50 feet wide. It's just not a comfortable spot. And when you just further west on Neal Avenue there, the city has bulb outs so people can walk across to the farmer's market, right? That is a comfortable spot. People are, obviously, they do it by the hundreds on Saturday at the farmer's market. So the idea would be to, instead of having the roundabout, which hopefully would be a single lane roundabout, you'd have 2 lanes going into your 4-way stop. And you don't have to kind of imagine what's that going to be like. There's lots of data out there, lots of case studies. The Department of Transportation has data that Neal Avenue there has something like 5,800 cars per day. Last Chance Gulch going out of the intersection has 6,900 cars per day. There's lots of research that all-way stops, single lane, can take up to 10,000 cars a day. So the math is there that a simple all-way stop where you've shrunk the lanes with lots of paint and cones seems worth trying instead of $2.5 million. But it's also a time to reflect on those solutions, either a single lane roundabout or a single lane all-way stop, how that'd be so much more comfortable at other spots. So when, again, my elderly relative who's disabled or my 6-year-old, we stand at Euclid and we're trying to walk to the grocery store to Town and Country, right? There's 6 lanes of traffic there. It's just, you're not feeling very welcome as a pedestrian, and that's why nobody walks there. And again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Do you want to start wrapping up, sir?
Yeah. Similarly, that intersection, there's about 20,000 cars per day. Single lane roundabouts have been proven to pass 25,000 cars per day. So instead of the 5 lanes of Euclid, imagine all the people there crossing 2 lanes of traffic at a roundabout to their grocery store. Things like that, I think, would be much more pedestrian friendly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any others? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Commissioners, any final words? If not, this meeting is adjourned.